foreman dropped a heavy cable with a mechanical lug into a 480-volt switchgear. This caused a major electrical explosion that shut down the entire plant. This incident highlights the critical importance of electrical safety and the need to speak up when witnessing potentially dangerous practices. Dropping or inserting any conductive object into live switchgear can lead to catastrophic events. It is crucial to always practice electrical safety. Even if the person in charge is perceived as an expert, it's essential to speak up if unsafe practices are witnessed or suspected. Question authority when it comes to safety. Safety concerns should be communicated clearly and effectively to all parties involved, regardless of their experience or position. Learn from past mistakes and recall similar incidents. Use these as reminders to prioritize safety measures. Never assume knowledge. Don't hesitate to question or clarify procedures, especially when working with potentially hazardous equipment. It's not enough to be aware of safety hazards, it's equally important to actively prevent them by speaking up and advocating for proper protocols. This is about speaking up for safety. Let's delve into why this incident occurred and how it could have been prevented. First, consider the design of the switchgear itself. Switchgear is designed to safely distribute power, but it is also inherently dangerous because it involves high voltages and currents. Proper maintenance is crucial. Regular inspections and preventative maintenance can identify potential problems before they escalate. For example, loose connections, damaged insulation, and signs of corrosion can all be detected and addressed during routine maintenance. Secondly, consider the tools and equipment used. Using the correct tools and equipment for the job is paramount. Insulated tools are a must when working near energized equipment. The cable lug in this incident should have been handled with extreme care, and proper lifting and handling techniques should have been employed to prevent it from accidentally contacting live busing. Thirdly, consider the procedures and protocols. Clear and well-defined procedures are essential for safe switchgear operation and maintenance. These procedures should outline the steps to be taken for various tasks, including grounding, lockout, tagout, and personal protective equipment requirements. Fourthly, consider training and communication. Adequate training is vital for all personnel who work with or around switchgear. Training should cover the hazards associated with switchgear, safe work practices, and emergency procedures. Effective communication is equally important. Workers should be encouraged to speak up if they see something that doesn't look right, and there should be a clear chain of command for reporting safety concerns. Now, let's explore in more detail the lessons learned from this event. Firstly, the importance of electrical safety cannot be overstated. Electricity is a powerful force, and it must be treated with respect. Workers should always be aware of the hazards associated with electrical work and take the necessary precautions to protect themselves. Secondly, never drop or insert any conductive objects into live switchgear. This is a recipe for disaster. Even a small metal object can cause a short circuit, leading to an arc flash and potentially fatal injuries. Thirdly, question authority when it comes to safety. Just because someone is in a position of authority does not mean that they are always right. If you see something that you believe is unsafe, speak up. Your voice could save a life. Fourthly, communicate clearly and effectively. Ensure that safety concerns are communicated to all parties involved regardless of their experience or position. Use clear and concise language and don't be afraid to ask questions. Fifthly, learn from past mistakes. Every incident, no matter how small, is an opportunity to learn and improve safety practices. Investigate incidents thoroughly and identify the root causes. Share the lessons learned with all personnel. Sixthly, never assume knowledge. Don't hesitate to question or clarify procedures, especially when working with potentially hazardous equipment. It's better to ask a question than to make a mistake that could have serious consequences. Finally, speak up for safety. It's not enough to be aware of safety hazards. It's equally important to actively prevent them by speaking up and advocating for proper protocols. Be a safety advocate and encourage others to do the same. Now, let's discuss some specific measures that can be taken to prevent similar incidents from happening in the future. Firstly, implement a robust lockout tagout program. Lockout-tagout is a safety procedure that ensures that equipment is de-energized and locked out before any maintenance or repair work is performed. This prevents accidental energization of the equipment, which could lead to serious injuries or fatalities. Secondly, use insulated tools and equipment. Insulated tools and equipment are designed to protect workers from electrical shock. These tools have a non-conductive coating that prevents electricity from flowing through the tool and into the worker's body. Thirdly, wear appropriate personal protective equipment or PPE. PPE is clothing and equipment that is designed to protect workers from hazards in the workplace. For electrical work, PPE includes items such as safety glasses, gloves, and arc-rated clothing. Arc-rated clothing is designed to protect workers from the intense heat and energy produced by an arc flash. Fourthly, establish a safe work perimeter. A safe work perimeter is a designated area around the work site that is free from hazards. This helps to protect workers from being struck by falling objects or coming into contact with energized equipment. Fifthly, provide adequate lighting. Adequate lighting is essential for safe work practices. Workers need to be able to see what they are doing in order to avoid accidents. Sixthly, use ground fault circuit interrupters or GFCIs. GFCIs are devices that protect workers from electrical shock by detecting ground faults. A ground fault occurs when electricity flows through an unintended path to ground. GFCIs quickly interrupt the flow of electricity when a ground fault is detected, preventing electrical shock. Seventhly, regularly inspect and maintain switchgear. Regular inspections and maintenance can help to identify potential problems before they escalate into serious incidents. Inspections should include checking for loose connections, damaged insulation, and signs of corrosion. Maintenance should include cleaning, lubricating, and tightening connections. Eighthly, train workers on safe work practices. Training is essential for ensuring that workers know how to work safely around switchgear. Training should cover the hazards associated with switchgear, safe work practices, and emergency procedures. Ninthly, promote a culture of safety. A culture of safety is one in which safety is valued and prioritized by all employees. In a culture of safety, workers are encouraged to speak up about safety concerns and are rewarded for doing so. Finally, learn from incidents. Every incident, no matter how small, is an opportunity to learn and improve safety practices. Investigate incidents thoroughly and identify the root causes. Share the lessons learned with all personnel. In conclusion, the switchgear incident serves as a stark reminder of the importance of electrical safety. By following safe work practices, using appropriate tools and equipment, and promoting a culture of safety, we can prevent similar incidents from happening in the future. Electrical safety is everyone's responsibility. Let's all work together to create a safe working environment for ourselves and our colleagues. Remember these key points: always practice electrical safety. Never drop or insert any conductive objects into live switchgear. Question authority when it comes to safety. Communicate clearly and effectively. Learn from past mistakes. Never assume knowledge. Speak up for safety. These principles can help prevent future incidents. Let's consider arc flash in more detail. An arc flash is a dangerous electrical explosion that can occur when there is a fault in an electrical system. It produces intense heat, bright light, and a pressure wave that can cause serious injuries or fatalities. Arc flashes can be caused by a variety of factors, including dropped tools, faulty equipment, and improper work practices. The severity of an arc flash depends on several factors, including the voltage of the electrical system, the amount of current flowing through the fault, and the distance from the arc flash to the worker. Workers who are exposed to an arc flash can suffer severe burns, eye injuries, hearing loss, and other injuries. In some cases, arc flashes can be fatal. There are several measures that can be taken to prevent arc flashes. These include using insulated tools and equipment, wearing appropriate personal protective equipment, and establishing a safe work perimeter. It is also important to de-energize equipment before working on it whenever possible. If equipment cannot be de-energized, workers should use extreme caution and follow safe work practices. Arc flash hazard assessments are crucial. An arc flash hazard assessment is a study that identifies potential arc flash hazards in a workplace and determines the level of protection that is needed to protect workers. The assessment should be conducted by a qualified electrical engineer or other qualified professional. The assessment should consider factors such as the voltage of the electrical system, the amount of current that could flow through a fault, and the distance from the potential arc flash to workers. The assessment should also recommend appropriate personal protective equipment and safe work practices. Arc flash training is also essential. Workers who work on or near energized electrical equipment should receive arc flash training. The training should cover the hazards associated with arc flashes, safe work practices, and the proper use of personal protective equipment. The training should be conducted by a qualified instructor. Now, let's talk about grounding. Grounding is a safety measure that provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, tripping a circuit breaker or fuse and energizing the circuit. This helps to protect workers from electrical shock and prevent equipment damage. There are two main types of grounding: system equipment grounding and system grounding. Equipment grounding connects the metal parts of electrical equipment to ground. This provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, tripping a circuit breaker or fuse. System grounding connects the neutral point of the electrical system to ground. This helps to stabilize the voltage of the system and prevent overvoltages. Grounding is essential for electrical safety. It helps to protect workers from electrical shock and prevent equipment damage. All electrical systems should be properly grounded. Also, let's cover lockout-tagout procedures. Lockout-tagout is a safety procedure that ensures that equipment is energized and locked out before any maintenance or repair work is performed. This prevents accidental energization of the equipment, which could lead to serious injuries or fatalities. The lockout-tagout procedure involves several steps. Firstly, identify the equipment that needs to be locked out. Secondly, notify all affected employees. Thirdly, shut down the equipment. Fourthly, isolate the equipment from all energy sources. Fifthly, lock out the energy isolating devices. Sixthly, tag out the energy isolating devices. Seventhly, verify that the equipment is de-energized. Eighthly, perform the maintenance or repair work. Ninthly, remove the locks and tags. Tenthly, notify all affected employees. 11thly, restart the equipment. Lockout-tagout is a critical safety procedure. It helps to prevent accidental energization of equipment, which could lead to serious injuries or fatalities. All employees who work on or near electrical equipment should be trained in lockout-tagout procedures. The National Electrical Code or NEC provides comprehensive guidelines for electrical installations, including grounding and bonding requirements. NEC Article 250 covers grounding and bonding. This article provides requirements for grounding electrical systems, equipment, and enclosures. It also provides requirements for bonding metal parts of electrical systems together to create a low impedance path for fault current. The NEC is a widely adopted standard for electrical safety. It is important to follow the requirements of the NEC to ensure that electrical systems are installed and maintained safely. Now let's discuss personal protective equipment or PPE in more detail. PPE is clothing and equipment that is designed to protect workers from hazards in a workplace. For electrical work, PPE includes items such as safety glasses, gloves, and arc-rated clothing. Safety glasses protect workers' eyes from flying objects and debris. Gloves protect workers' hands from electrical shock and burns. Arc-rated clothing protects workers from the intense heat and energy produced by an arc flash. The type of PPE that is required for a particular job depends on the hazards that are present. Workers should always wear the appropriate PPE for the job. PPE should be inspected before each use to ensure that it is in good condition. Damaged or defective PPE should be replaced immediately. Workers should be trained on the proper use and care of PPE. Finally, consider the importance of safety meetings. Safety meetings are a valuable tool for promoting a culture of safety. Safety meetings provide a forum for discussing safety issues, sharing lessons learned, and reinforcing safe work practices. Safety meetings should be held regularly. The frequency of safety meetings should depend on the hazards that are present in the workplace. Safety meetings should be led by a qualified individual. The leader should be knowledgeable about safety issues and be able to effectively communicate with workers. Safety meetings should be interactive. Workers should be encouraged to ask questions and share their concerns. Safety meetings should be documented. The minutes of safety meetings should be kept on file. In summary, safety is paramount when working with electrical equipment. By following safe work practices, using appropriate tools and equipment, and promoting a culture of safety, we can prevent accidents and injuries. Remember to always prioritize safety in everything you do. Consider these points as you assess your workplace safety practices. Remember, safety is a continuous process. It requires ongoing effort and attention to detail. By working together, we can create a safe and healthy working environment for everyone.